Dear students, this time we have a very famous poem on his blindness by John Milton to talk about. It is not for the first time that we did talk about this poem. I think that in my previous lecture also, I have taken this poem for my discussion, and I have come through this poem considering several points to envisage the important idea in the mind of the poet. We can say that this was all related to thematic discussion of the poem. But we know another aspect of the poem is its structural device. I have been repeatedly talking about the fact that a structure is more important aspect than thematic aspect to compose a very successful and memorable poem. We may have several things in our mind, but we may not have proper structures to devise the idea into a poetic form. So John Milton becomes John Milton as a great poet for both his great and revolutionary idea and his unique way of expressing his idea. So we can talk about this present poem also on his blindness from the structure point of view as well. We can simply go through the structure of line. We can go through the diction. We can go through the very much, what we can call process of alluding the thing, and so on, that we have better way of knowing this poem, analyzing this poem. I am Dr. Naveen Kumar Jha, Associate Professor in English, RAGS College, Ahilyastha. Now, I am very much taking the first important point into account that this is a lyrical poem. This has lyricism. We can sing this poem. The poet has raised a very serious topic to deal with in this poem, but through a lyrical style. How is it possible for a person to sing a song on the very grave and serious question that is very much in the mind of the poet? On the one hand, he is dealing with his relationship with God, or he is trying to work out the problem that is very much in his mind after he became blind, that he is no longer able to write a poem, and he is unable to serve the God with his poetic talent. We know that this is not an easy question that he has raised. He has been very much pensive in his mood to find the answer, and in patience comes as a clue to reach the conclusion or the finality of the poem. But what is the form? Form of the poem is lyrical. That is still in the trouble he is singing the song. Now, what a brilliant way of expressing his view that a serious issue is dealt with in form of song, in form of lyrical poem. And it is almost not possible for a common poet to take this kind of serious subject matter to discuss in a lyrical way, but John Milton. Second point is that the poem is a sonnet which has been written into 14 lines, and it has been followed, or we can say the poet has followed Italian Petrarchan form of sonnet. We find the structure of the poem divided into octave or 8-line composition and sestet, that is 6-line composition. This is what the composition is of Italian Petrarchan form of sonnet. Here he has not made any change in the form of the sonnet, although we find that there are poets like Shakespeare, Spenser and so on who have written sonnets but made their own models of writing sonnet. But still he believes in traditional pattern, conventional pattern of sonnet writing. He has not, although he was able to develop his own sonnet style as Shakespeare and Spenser had done, but he did not. It doesn't show that he was not interested in inventing his own sonnet style. It shows that he has the belief in the traditional form, conventional form of sonnet, and so he followed Italian Petrarchan form of sonnet to discuss his problem, find the solution to the problem. Now we find that the rhyming pattern of octave is A-B-B-A, A-B-B-A. That the first line is rhymed with the fourth line, and the third and fourth line are rhymed. Similarly, we can say that fifth line is rhymed with the eighth line, and sixth and seventh line are rhymed. This is the rhyming pattern of octave. Now in the sestet we find the rhyming pattern is C-D-E, C-D-E. So we have already lighted on the rhyming pattern of octave and sestet. We will be very much surprised to know that Petrarchan sonnet form was used for expressing love and romance. Or we can say love and romance has been the subject matter of Petrarchan sonnet form. But you know that this poem does not have any love and romance to talk about. The poet is not talking about any love and romance on his blindness. He is talking about his internal, personal conflict. So, from the theme point of view also, we can say that he has not chosen the traditional theme, but he has chosen the traditional style. So, traditional style was followed, but the theme was his personal. It is what the great talent of John Milton was. Now, he departs from the actual defined topic of Petrarchan sonnet, and he is just keeping his own conflict as a matter of discussion into this particular sonnet. Now let us talk about the beginning of the poem. We find that the poet begins with line with subordinate clause, which is made of when. We already know that a subordinate clause or dependent clause is made with when, but this subordinate clause does not have any completeness of idea. We know that subordinate clause becomes complete when it is just connected with the principal clause. So he starts from subordinate clause, but the main idea is to follow. The poet has kept the main idea into suspense to the reader. Let reader come to main idea by going through the poem. Generally, you find that the poet starts from the main idea and subordinate points are following. But in contrast, the poet starts from the subordinate idea and the main idea is to follow. So beginning creates a certain suspense which catches the attention of the reader. That incompleteness of idea is kept first. And to find the completeness of idea, the reader is to go through the poem. The poet does not disclose the completeness of idea till the last line. So, it is just through the reading of the poem from the beginning to the end that the reader comes to the actual point that the poet wants to discuss. He has intentionally postponed the main idea that reader should continue to the end. It is his way to get the reader engaged into the reading of the poem. Most often you find that when the main and central idea is kept in the beginning, the poet thinks that the reader loses his interest to complete the poem, because he in the very beginning finds what the final point is, and so the reader does not think that he should go through the whole poem now. So the reader is made into anticipation of its eventual arrival. Now we anticipate, being the readers, to come to the final point, and we get the final point to the end of this poem. So the final point in eventual arrival is delayed. That is very much a strategical technique followed by John Milton to get the reader engaged. Now we find that there are some lexical consideration to light on. Now we have the word like consider. Now consider is not very much suitable word for a poem, because when the poet thinks that he is going to consider some point, it means he is logically trying to approach the poem. He is logically trying to derive the conclusion, or it implies careful, rational thought that he is going to discuss. Should we think that the reader is much more determined to listen to the argument of the poet, or logical derivation of the poet, or rational thought of the poet? In the poem, we generally expect something emotional, something what we can call entertaining. Literature is first supposed to entertain the reader. And here we find that the word itself is a breaker. It is only for serious reader that he tries to go through the consideration of the poet in this poem. Otherwise, the common reader is not daring to go through, because he is not thinking that, okay, we should stand by the rational thought or logical discussion in the poem. So there is no emotional reaction. The poet does not have any kind of emotional response to keep here. So it is sense emotionality. It is dry, rational poem. However, it is regarded as one of the successful poems written by English poets throughout its history, across its history. So it is all because of his power of argumentation, of consideration, of rational thought processing that has engaged the heart and mind of the reader. So we find that he has decided to do so because that he comes of Renaissance. And it is supposed that region is the greatest gift of God in Renaissance. In Renaissance, we have based everything on region. It was all because of social response, social syndrome, that the poet had chosen a rational approach to his problem. Now, the then society was very much rational. The then society was not eager to listen to any emotional outburst of the poet. So he had rightly caught just the rhythm of the time, that people were simply believing in rational thought processes to talk about whatever the situation is, and so he had just followed what the demand of the time was, what the just a conclusion of the Renaissance was. Now we should also try to look at light, age spent. We find it has been metaphorically used. That first literal meaning may be that the poet is blind, so his light of eye is gone, he is not able to read and write. So light is extinguished. But light clearly alludes eventually to the speaker's loss of sight also. Loss of sight, that he is not able to see, and he is not able to just oversee. Now, a poet is not a general person to see only the things through his vision. Here, vision is to see which is hidden, which is sacred. In this poem, we find that poet is not talking about his common sense of seeing, that everybody who has eye can see whatever is just before him. But despite having eye, common people cannot see the very much sacred of nature. Or there are so many things which remain sacred, but we are not able to see only because of the fact that our sense is not penetrating the darkness beneath which the very much answer to problem is lying. So light may also suggest one's intelligence. Now when the poet has become blind, he thinks that he is not able to see. Now perhaps he is also intending to the fact that he is not able to think something intelligently, because our intelligent thinking is based upon our day-to-day observation of the fact also. When we observe the thing with our eye, this observation helps us just think intelligently. Yes, there are only a few people who have been blind throughout the life, but are described to be the intelligent persons. Now, here it is his sixth sense that is divine, that is godly given to him. Here we can also say that his sixth sense has started working after he became blind, because he was not able to see with his eyes. However, he has written the great epic like Paradise Lost. It was an insightful work. It was the work which was based upon the insight into something great, sacred, that common people cannot see very clearly with his general sight. So he is also referring to the fact that perhaps he will be weaker at intelligent observation. He will be weaker because will not be able to see the world, and that will be the great loss to the poet like John Milton, because it is very much the boosting factor to go into the depth of intelligent discussion of something. When the scientist observes most of the common thing taking place around him with his eye, like Newton has observed falling tree, it was the observation he made through eye. But on the basis of this visual observation, he has started thinking intelligently. And now his inner conscience, his intelligent eye, sixth eye, helped him engrave the theory of just gravitation. But we can say, to come to this theory of gravitation, his observation of falling apple was a boosting factor. So perhaps he is referring to the fact that just light is spent, his visual observation is wasted. Now it will be little bit difficult for the person to go into the detail of the secret of the natural order before he is coming to the actual revelation of the fact and so on. That the poet in the beginning line means his ability to see has become extinguished, and this meaning is foreshadowed by the poem's title itself, On His Blindness. Yes, here he is just moving the idea around his being blind. So when he has become blind, what? Now the title itself is referring to the fact. On his blindness, he tries to say something, that he has lost his eyesight and he has also lost his vision or insight, or just finding some clue to compensate for the loss of sight and so on. So we can say that the title is also remarkable in the sense that poet has very much metaphorically used the title. And now we find this is what we have discussed, the very much point related to literary devices and important structural devices that poet has used to write this poem. And I think that it will be of great help for us to think. Thank you.